Coming up next on The Spot, release calendar is about to set it off like Queen Latifah robbing a bank. This week we'll have Rockstar in studio to give us a first look at table tennis on the Wii. THQ will drop by with SmackDown, and 2K Sports is back in the building, this time with basketball. Want to see a world premiere exclusive #1 trailer for BioWare's Mass Effect? Then keep your eyes glued to whatever you're watching this show on, because we've got that, son. And how about the crow-laced madness of Dark Sector? Yeah, we've got footage of that you haven't seen anywhere else. We'll also show off a little bit of that God of War PSP, some My Sims, a smidge of Project Gotham Racing 4, and of course, we'll talk about our plans for next week's Tokyo Game Show. Grab a cold beverage and relax, because On the Spot begins now! That dude was not lying. On the Spot has in fact begun.
That dude is you, Jeff.
That dude is me, Ryan.
You're the only person making Set It Off references around here.
No, but, well, no, it's a joke that we all have, except for you. It's actually kind of an inside thing we kind of been leaving you out of. Sorry, dude. So, big week this week, a lot of stuff going on. I think we should really just start the show and talk about the biggest thing that's been happening around here lately, and that's the 20-foot by 20-foot sinkhole.
I know.
In San Francisco.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, tell me about the sinkhole.
So there's a fat sinkhole like 2 blocks from here at First and Howard. Like a 20-foot by 20-foot section of the road on First Street collapsed.
That's heavy.
Like a water main broke underneath, and it caused a huge section of the road
and
to
the locust horde
to
is
totally
coming up
just
out
fall
of it.
down.
And,
Yeah, it's totally going to become Gears of War here. But yeah, that's totally messed up, because that's one of the main approaches to the Bay Bridge. So it's going to be totally screwed around.
So obviously
here.
that's the biggest news. I think that's really all we have to say. We can just wrap up the show, right?
Yeah, I think that's really
all right,
it.
cool. We'll see you next
also,
week.
FASA got closed.
Yes, FASA, the people that made Shadowrun and MechWarrior, they were closed down today. I guess about half the employees have moved on to other Microsoft divisions, and half of them are going to be moving on to other positions in other companies. So that's been going down.
But it's a bummer, because they made some good stuff, but it's also not super surprising.
Right. I mean, Shadowrun didn't exactly sell particularly well. You kind of heard right around on the heels of the release of that game, kind of the talk started happening of, I don't know if FASA's going to be around too much longer. And sure enough.
Also, this week, you weren't here on Monday.
That's right. I was out of the office for a couple of days.
Fantastic.
Doing some stuff.
Well, I guess we'll find out what exactly you did in a little bit.
Yeah. Soon we'll have more information on what I was up at, say, the Bungie offices doing.
Maybe that's
maybe
where
we'll
you
have
were.
something. Maybe. Who can say? I certainly can't, because I've signed away my life, and they would slit my throat if I said too much more about it.
Absolutely.
But why don't we get into the show? We've got an action-packed show, loads of guests here. It's full up over there. There's all kinds of people standing around,
just off camera,
tapping their watches, going, "Listen, we're going to show these games."
We've got exclusive trailers all over the place.
That's right, and we're going to start with one right here, right now.
And then at the end of the show, we're going to end it with one for Mass Effect.
That's right.
Stay
Mass
tuned for
Effect.
Mass Effect.
We're going to run that back and drop a bomb on it, Funkmaster Flex style. It does not get any more exclusive than this.
No.
But here we are, Dark Sector.
Yes.
This is like the very first next generation game they ever announced.
I remember that.
And it's still not out yet, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
And they have something new to show us. Let's take a look at the latest.
You want to kill me. You want to end this. But deep down, there's no end in sight. You're half man, half monstrosity. There is no acceptance out there for you. You'll always be sick. You'll always be a threat. They will need to contain you, to erase you.
Take questions from there.
And we are back. I am now joined by Bruce Dugan, your PR for Rockstar, and you've brought along, Bruce, how's it going?
It's going good.
You brought along Rockstar Games Presents Table Tennis for the Wii.
Table tennis for the Wii.
Table Tennis for the Wii. We saw this on the 360, obviously, last year, and now you guys are bringing it with all the motion controls.
Absolutely.
Now, this is the first time I've seen it, so why don't you give me a little rundown on what the controls are like?
Well, you're going to go with the standard control scheme.
Okay.
You're just going to use the Wii mode, essentially.
Right.
You can aim up into the left to send your shot, back to the left corner of the table.
Uh-huh.
You can go up and to the right, back and to the right.
All right.
There's essentially an invisible grid on the table, so you're going to want to aim to certain portions of that with your Wiimote.
Sure.
While controlling your spins with the D-pad.
Okay.
So top spin up, down spin. on the bottom.
So I'm dealing with both the D-pad and the direction that I'm throwing the remote in
and then
at the same
to
time.
throw you a curveball, we're adding some of these buttons on the back and the front.
Okay.
The A button's going to be a soft shot. B is going to be a bit of a focus shot.
Okay.
Give you a little more power.
You've got some other control schemes up on the screen here with that use the nunchuck. Let's talk about those a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the sharpshooter mode. Sharpshooter is going to utilize the nunchuck. You're going to be able to use your analog stick over here to give you a bit more placement on where you're aiming your shot. A little more control over it than just the standard setup. We also have a control freak mode. Control freak will allow you to move your player around as well as control where you're hitting with the Wiimote. Your standard control scheme, your player is going to be on rails. The same with my sharpshooter. They're going to react to basically how you're playing.
So you don't have to worry
determine
about
where they need to be.
You don't need to worry about your player position as much as you do just how you're hitting the ball.
Right, really simple to pick up and play. You just got to focus on where you're aiming and the power of your shots.
All right, well, I'm going to go one-handed here. You've got the two hands. I'm playing as Jürgen, and you're going to play as Lou. Let's
jump right in.
Let's jump right into the game and see how this handles. Now, as far as features go, I missed that one bad entirely. As far as features go, compared to the 360 version, what are we looking at here?
You've got all the same players, all with their. What's going on? You're a little slow on the pickup here.
I'm not,
all right, now you're serving, so we're in better shape.
So I flick it up, and then at you like that.
Exactly. So you've got all the players,
there it is.
varying attributes for each one. You've got all the arenas intact. You've got all of the game modes essentially. So you're looking at a pretty deep, pretty robust game.
Good. So it's still. I mean, you're not controlling the movement, but it's still pretty. It still takes a lot of focus and concentration here.
Absolutely,
to
because,
play.
It's a bit of a strategy, sort of anticipatory how you're going to swing, what type of spin you're going to use, where you're going to place it, try to keep the guy off balance a little bit. You thought I was going to take it easy on me. I'm not.
Bring it, sir.
I'm bringing it.
All right. Well, I'm going to admit that playing and talking at the same time.
Not easy to do.
So tell me. So, as far as the spin goes, how do I just affect more spin on the ball?
Well, the longer you hold down any of the different directional pads, the more spin you're going to put on it. Once you feel your Wiimote start to rumble, you're in trouble because it's going to go off the table. So you want to balance it out. It's a fine line.
All right, I'm just going to keep serving. Jeff, I'm just going to keep playing. If you've got questions from the folks at home, start throwing them at me.
I do, in fact, have questions, Ryan, including this one from John in Florida, who wants to know, is Jesper even more evil in this version?
Can he get more evil than he was before?
He was pretty
He definitely
evil.
has the same level of evilness that he always has. We haven't taken any of the evil out.
Just as evil-friendly as the 360 version did. Good to hear. Eduardo in Brazil wants to know if there are any additional characters or additional features. Are there any bonus characters or bonus stuff in the Wii version?
Same amount of characters, same features as the first one, with obviously the revolutionary motion controls sort of ramp up the fun factor.
Well, then that rolls into the question I got from Cole in Colorado, who wants to know if those features include online play.
There is no online play for the Wii version of Rockstar Games Presents Table Tennis. We feel that with a lot of the Wii games, and specifically this one, you want to stare your opponent down when you get great aces, like I'm going to try to do here. You want to be able to just taunt people in the room as you play. That's sort of the fun.
So you're saying that you're as evil as Jesper is then?
I try to be.
So we're still looking at the same sort of career mode progression then?
Yeah, same tournament modes. There's a new training mode that sort of gets you comfortable with all the different control schemes that we didn't offer the first time around.
We're going to have to see who's the better here.
I'm going to try to throw.
Oh, killing me here. Although not that much.
No, it should be more lopsided.
You played this
Poor
before,
showing
Bruce.
on my part.
Let's see, Ryan in Florida asks, is this game running on the same engine as the 360 version, or did you have to build it from the ground up?
It's sort of built from the ground up. A lot of the same tools we used to develop the first one, but it is not running on Rage, which we use for our 360 and PS3 games.
I think you're gonna take me on this one here. Oh!
You weren't even trying.
I wasn't
on
even
that one.
ready for that one. I'm just gonna give. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you the rest. I'm glad to see that Lu Ping is as cocky as he ever was. So that's Rockstar Games presents table tennis. It's
That's the one.
feeling good. When you guys looking to put this out?
October 23rd.
Excellent.
It'll hit.
Bruce, thanks for coming by and giving us a show.
Thank you very much for playing.
Jeff, what's up next?
What's up next, Ryan, is that we are now joined by Brian Eckberg, sports editor, and he's brought some guests from 2K Sports.
That's right. Yeah, we've got a full couch here. We've got Mike Wang and Rob Jones from 2K Sports, and we're
Hey,
taking
guys.
a look at
There you
NBA 2K8. Right, guys?
That's right.
Yeah. So, so tell us where do we start with this game? There's a lot going on this year. You know, last year was a lot about signature styles and some control things, but you're doing some really interesting stuff with the controls this year, like off-ball controls and things like that. Where do we start?
Yeah, we'll start with all-ball controls.
Yeah, let's do it.
One of the things that we really focused on this year is really just trying to bridge the gap between real basketball and video game basketball. And so a big push for us this year was really all about movement and the new motion model that went in. And that it really entails everything from foot planting technology to realistic-looking cuts and plants, both for the dribbler and on defense. And this whole concept of what we call an off-ball control. And really what it is an extension of our DPC mechanic we introduced last year,
Okay.
which is a dual player control mechanic. Let's see what Robin doing. Just hit begin real quick.
So you're
gotta
playing
get
as
on
Phoenix
offense
right
first.
now?
Oh, he's on. So we got Celtics versus the Suns. Rob's playing as the Celtics.
Oh, okay.
And he's going to come up court in a second, and he's going to show you how it works. It's pretty simple. Right now, you push the left bumper, and then, or you can push B. If you push B, it's kind of a quick version of the off-ball control, and you'll see Paul Pierce coming off the screen right there.
And that's basically just
So-
a get open button, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of I want to get my teammate open for a quick shot off the ball, so that's what that does. Or you can also use the left bumper. You press left bumper and you use the right stick to pick a guy, and then you can issue a command and tell him, hey, come off the screen and get open for a shot, go into the post, or come and set a screen for us for a pick and roll play or something like that.
So you have 4 options off the wall, or you can take control of that player.
Right, and then that's another aspect of the mechanic is you can also, if a guy is selected, if you press the right bumper when he's selected, you'll have control of that guy, kind of like a player lock type of thing for that play. So you can run around off ball wherever you want, try and get open. And it's a nice feature, and it features some really great animations. It really, again, really helps us to bridge the gap between, video game movement, which has always been kind of, twitchy and unrealistic looking, to
Sure.
what we have now, which is a lot more basketball looking.
It seems like, with the next gen sports games, it's always been about improving animation, improving the quality of the animation, not just how it's captured and how it looks, but how it flows together. And you guys are doing that a lot with signature styles. Tell me about the animations this time around with 2K8.
Well, we put in a lot last year, but we didn't get to really do all aspects of the game like we wanted to. Last year was really a focus on jump shots.
Right.
And we added a whole bunch of jump shots last year. But the problem was we didn't have a lot of the data that we needed to really get everyone represented properly. We had a limited number of actors trying to copy people's shots, and the best way to do it is really just to get a whole bunch of different actors in.
Sure.
And so this year it was all about data collection and really getting those to be right. And so we added a lot more shots. I think it's 30 new ones, but overall it's over 200 shots now. And then we added this whole concept of packages, and what it is you can assign different dunk packages, dribble packages, free throws to your guys, so that you can also get them to play more like their real life selves.
Sure.
In other ways too. So
You're using a lot of NBA data in this game, and one of the things that's interesting to me is it looks like a little cell phone bar underneath the players. What is that, and how does that work into the game?
Well, for me, when you're coming up court, as the cell phone bars kind of fill up, it kind of gives you an indication of what that player's range is in the area where he's moving to. So, Ray Allen, you'll start seeing as soon as he hits near the three-point line that it's filling up. The colors on the cell phone bars indicate what his current state in the game is. Is he hot? Is he cold? So if he's red, you know to take shots with him. If he's blue, you know that he has range from there, but you're not quite as positive that he'll make that shot.
Right.
And then combine that with the fact that we're tracking the players' hot zones from the charts that the NBA was so kind to give us last year. And one of the bonuses that you'll get is that if you're in the player's hot zone, you'll actually get an additional bonus on top of what you had before.
And as you're playing in a franchise mode or a season mode, does that data change throughout the season for how a player progresses?
In terms of
shots?
what the hot zone is?
Yes, exactly.
No, the hot zone is so that you have your favorite players and you know exactly where
go.
the guys like to shoot from.
Okay. And there's also a new defensive help control
Yes.
this time around. How does that work?
So based on your player's ability, if Mike can show you in a little bit, when an offensive player comes up to you, you'll get this lock icon, and the lock icon will show up just as you're getting in position. The better you are, the easier it is to get the lock icon to come up. Once that happens, you hold down the L trigger, and what it does is it helps you keep in front of the ball handler, which is one of the biggest things that you get when you're playing both online and offline for the most part. Online specifically, it gets really, really hard. He's locked on right now. And so as long as he doesn't attempt to steal or doesn't veer far from where he should be moving to, he'll stay locked on and receive this help from the AI directly on it. At that time, you can also, once you're locked on, you can ride a guy, try to ride him to the sidelines, lock him up in that way. It's just a way to really allow you to get more physical with the offensive player than we've ever allowed you to do before.
But what's interesting is that even though you're locked onto a guy, you can still get beat, right?
Oh yeah, if the guy's better than you, he can turbo out and around from you. He can spin off of it. I mean, obviously, if you're really tight on somebody, really great players they have a ton of moves to get out away from that.
Sure. So, cool, let's take some questions from the audience. Jeff, do you have any questions from our folks watching?
I do have some questions. Let's start with the one that I had. Don in California wants to know, how are the achievements in the game? Will they be as easy to unlock as maybe they were back in 2K6?
No, actually, we've added a ton of new achievements, and they're a lot more varied than they were last year. I'm not exactly aware. Do you remember what the number was?
I thought last time I checked there were 50.
Okay.
I'm not positive. The great thing the great thing about our achievements is that you can get them in the course of just playing normally instead of having to force yourself to get them that way. So it rewards people for just playing the game as they normally would.
We should probably talk about one other aspect of on the floor play is the sort of the play diagrams. How does that work?
So this was a big thing for us this year, is that we wanted to really help users understand the game of basketball, and so one of the things that has always been a problem in the past is plays are running for you all the time, but you don't really know where to go as a player. And so what we've done this year is on the fly. I'll let Rob play while I talk about it. We have these little spots on the floor, like a blue circle will tell you where to go as a player, and then the next step in the play will come up as soon as guys are set. And so that blue line will tell you you're supposed to dribble to that area on the court, and you guys set a screen for you. And it helps you to really get the floor balance right and to understand what guys are supposed to be doing at any given time during a play. And so, yeah, it helps you run better basketball, and it makes the game a lot more balanced, I think.
Cool. Another question, Jeff.
Yes, let's go with one more here. Josh in Virginia wants to know, is the game kind of arcadey? He goes on to say that he felt it was a little too easy to dunk, both online and off, and is wondering kind of how the general structure of the game is going to work this year. In that sense.
This is something that Rob alluded to earlier with the whole defensive mechanic. We got a lot of complaints last year that 2K7 was a bit of a dunk fest. It was way too easy to get to the basket, and so those two major things that we did was really focus on the floor, on ball defense, getting guys out of the lane for one, but if they do get into the lane, there's also a lot more contact. So there's a lot more contact layups, contact shots, hard fouls. You see guys getting hit to the floor. So it's definitely not an arcade game. It's a game that's, it's the #1 sim out there, basketball game. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming by. The game is NBA 2K8, and when are you looking to ship it, and on what platforms?
We will be coming out on October 2nd for the Xbox 360, PS2, and PS3.
Awesome. Still going with the PS2 support. Sweet. Yeah, that's totally awesome.
PS2 got some love this year too.
Totally.
So
cool. Right on.
Game.
All right. Well, next up, we are going to go with some tape from God of War for the PSP. A lot of people looking forward to this one, and we've got some new footage just for you. Check it out.
What evil have you wrought on this city, Persian?
When we first started working on God of War Chains of Olympus, we had this great engine that we started with, which was the Daxter engine. And the idea was that we were going to try to use that as much as possible and make this huge game out of it and really push it to its limits.
We knew going into it that this was going to be a very challenging game to make. I mean, we weren't kidding ourselves at all with it.
We had to redo quite a few portions of the engine to really push the PSP to its ultimate limit.
Cramming in all the detail of the environments and the enemies, and these characters have a lot of stuff going on. I mean, you have Cyclopses with just a lot of detailed polygons, lots of textures on them. The renderer went through a new revision, not a complete rewrite, but just tweaks in there, major optimizations, full screen effects to get a lot of the blurs and the really visceral feel out of things that wasn't really necessary for Daxter, but it's absolutely critical for a God of War game.
When we first started developing God of War Chains of Olympus, we were working under the assumption that we would have 222 megahertz to work with, and when we got the news that they're going to unlock the full system hardware, we were ecstatic. We started unlocking more full screen effects, added more enemies, added more background geo. One thing that people don't realize is that it also increases the bus speed of the PSP, which lets us push more graphics. We really wanted to push this game. We're really big gamers ourselves, and so if we can put that much more into it, make that much more of an epic game, then we're all about it. To be honest, and the first time I saw Attica and that huge vista shot, I was like, really? You guys really want to do this? You really want to try to do that?
In Attica, you'll see like this huge vista with just shots being fired back and forth from the Greeks to the Persians and their ships, and it's just a huge ocean full of Persian galleys.
It's beautiful, it really is, and we definitely did push it, and it's a good thing that they did want to push it that far, and we were willing to try it out.
There's a prototype that we did of it, that the first time you can play through the whole thing, and it's big boxes, everything is just blocked out for this is going to be a building here and it's a cube, So we definitely, that's a process we take with all of our levels actually. Just from a paper design, we then go to a prototyping phase where it's actually something you can run through with all the encounters that are going to be there playable, but it's not necessarily pretty to look at, but it's functional. And then from there we make a lot of changes. It's constantly going back on what you made before.
This game is probably right now the most anticipated PSP title, and it does put a lot of pressure, on us. But the fact is, that's exactly how we like it. You know that you've got so many people, that are waiting to see, can you do an epic game like God of War, on PSP? Can it be done? And kind of tease them and show them, yes, this is what it's going to look like. You might have heard recently that a guy called Ramon Stokes actually did a mod for PSP that's actually based on the God of War universe and franchise. He actually auctioned it off for charity. We were so impressed that we secretly bid on the PSP and actually won the auction. And so what we did is we actually flew him over here for him to hand deliver the console and meet the team and get to play, the demo that's soon to be released. When the game comes out, which is it's going to come out March 4th, 2008, people can play the game and really discover. I can't wait to see the forums and then the things like that. Get to see stuff that we haven't talked about and really just discover the entire experience. So incredible. I really can't wait. That's the best part of our job, is just finish the game and put it in people's hands and see the results, and I can't wait.
So take this message back to your little gods. It will take more than a pathetic Spartan to stop the power of the Empire.
There it is, God of War PSP looking pretty good. And stay tuned, of course, we are going to have a world-exclusive Mass Effect trailer later on in the show. But right now, I am rejoined by Brian Eckberg.
It's been a while, Jeff. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a very long time. It's great to see you again.
I missed you, man.
How are
honestly.
the kids?
They're great. They're fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But more importantly, how is the Project Gotham Racing 4?
Just as good as my non-existent kids. It's awesome.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not, but let's take a look at it. You're riding a motorcycle.
That's
Wolf
right.
Mother is playing.
That's right. We are looking at motorcycles, which is the first time they've ever been in a Project Gotham game, of course. And this is Quebec, which is one of the new areas in the game. And what I'm showing off here is the new career mode in the game. And if you've ever played Project Gotham Racing, you know that career mode has you doing all sorts of different race types. There's cone challenges and straight up street races. Well,
right.
this one is kudos for time, which means the more kudos I earn. When I earn kudos, I stop the clock. And the idea is to earn as many as you can in order to get past the finish line. So, stop the clock as much as you can, so to give you enough time to get past the finish line. So it's a little bit tough. And what's interesting about the bikes is how you gain kudos with them.
Yeah, because you can't, a lot of the kudos tricks from the previous game don't quite apply on a motorcycle.
Yeah,
right?
Although you can drift in a motorcycle. I'm not showing it off very well right now, but you actually can drift, which is one of the big ways to get points in a car. You saw I did a little tiny drift there.
Yeah.
But of course you can also do, endos and wheelies. If I can find a straight here, I'll do a big wheelie for you. So it's a little.
Why wait for a straight? Just do a wheelie into a wall.
Yeah, there you go. So one
Nice.
of the other ways, one of the things that's interesting is, Project Gotham is an arcade game. So it handles nicely, and the cars and the bikes feel great, but it's also not, you know, Forza 2. It's not this incredibly realistic game. And
But that's yeah, like you still have to use your brakes, right? It's not Ridge Racer.
Absolutely. But the point here is that you can't really. It's tough. It's tougher than you might expect to crash your bike. You've seen I've run into some walls there.
Yeah.
And any other bike game, you'd be skidding across the pavement.
Right.
But here, it's a little bit more difficult. So yeah, you know, as you do these career events, you earn kudos. And for lots of different things, drift events, completing clean sections of the lap, you know, all sorts of different ways to earn kudos. And you can use the kudos this time around to buy things.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to crash. There's a crash for you.
That's going to make you fall off the bike every time.
Yeah, so you earn kudos and you unlock cars and new tracks. And there's actually one really funny. If you earn 1 million kudos and you don't spend them on anything else, you can take that 1 million kudos and buy a gamer picture that no one else is going to be able to have unless they've conserved all of their kudos just for that gamer picture.
Wow.
Which is kind of, I thought that was pretty clever, but I don't know who's going to do that because you're missing out on a whole bunch of great cars.
Well, you know, conceivably, if you're going to play the game for a very long time, eventually you could have it all. Right?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
But
that's a lot of kudos.
That is a lot of kudos. I'm sure there's someone out there that is just going to spin donuts until they get a zillion kudos.
Yeah, and there are people out there who kudos are just, you know, they're easy for them. Not for normal humans like myself,
right.
But kudos come easy to some folks. So that's career mode, and you race all throughout all the different venues, and you've got Tokyo and Shanghai, a lot of, and actually St. Petersburg, which is returning from Project Gotham 2, Michelin Test Track, lots of new courses, lots of different vehicles. In Project Gotham 3, you had mostly exotic cars. This time we've got motorcycles. We've got pickup trucks this time around.
Like pickup trucks that are customized for racing with spoilers and all that weird stuff?
It wasn't the one. I haven't driven one yet, but I raced a pickup truck yesterday.
And it was just a pickup truck.
It was just a
like,
pickup truck.
Check out this F-150 or this.
Yeah.
Like, here you go.
Yeah, but
wow.
It was crazy. Now I really hope that you can actually drive pickup trucks.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it yet. So I actually want to show off if we can get to the screen.
Yeah. Well, you get something else loaded up. Let's kick it over to Ryan Davis, who has some questions from the folks at home.
Let's do it.
Questions concerning the bikes.
Yeah.
I've got one from Paul Capel in Birmingham, UK, and he wants to know, do the bikes work well in racing against cars, or do the cars just knock you right off your bike?
I was just thinking about this earlier as I've been preparing my preview of this game. Bikes work really well in some cases, and they work really, and they don't work that well in other cases. For the most part, bikes are really hot off the line.
Right.
So if you need to do speed challenges where you're taking short turns, you need really kicky acceleration, a bike is great. But a lot of the bikes aren't as fast on the upper end as like a Enzo Ferrari or something like that. So it really is, there's this challenge of what vehicle do I take into what race? Because typically in these championship races, you're racing 3 events. And while one of them might be ideal for your bike, the other 2 might just be good for the car. So it's this idea of balance. And
in that case, pick the pickup truck every single
pickup
time.
truck always wins. Yeah, that's right. But so what I'm showing now is a custom match. I wanted to actually show a race here. And,
against other opponents.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to show Shanghai because it's unbelievable. Cool. One thing, a big deal in this game is weather. This is a night race. I forgot to turn on weather, but it's got snow, rain, lightning, fog.
Big impact on the handling?
A pretty significant impact. In one career challenge, you actually have to race on the Nürburgring in the snow in a 1950s F1 car, which is rear-wheel drive, a monster to drive, and it's it's insanely hard, but it's also really fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Ryan, more questions.
People want to know about the frame rate. Do you feel it's better than the original? Are we looking at 60 frames here?
I have no complaints about the frame rate.
Looks pretty smooth here.
Yeah, looks real smooth.
I guess that car just blew past
I got to
it.
say that Project Gotham Racing 3 was definitely one of the first really impressive Xbox 360 games I saw. Do you feel like this is one-upping it in any significant way?
Well, I mean, just look at Shanghai here, and yeah, it's tough. But I mean, gorgeous environments. I mean, some of these nighttime environments. I think around this curve, you'll see what I'm talking about with all these neon signs. It's just stunning looking.
Awesome.
What they've pulled off with this game. It's 8-player racing in this case in the single-player game. I'm not sure what it is online. I think it's the same. but the environments are just stunning, and they've you know, the series has been known for a long time for you know what they've done graphically with all these real life cities and locations, and man, I'm just not driving too well.
So how much do we know about the online? Is stuff like Gotham TV returning?
What they're doing this time around is doing something called Project Gotham On Demand, or Project Gotham On Demand, something like that, where you can upload videos and photos, and people can rate your photos and decide which ones they like best. So it seems like a cool service. I actually haven't had a chance to try out the online services because this is a preview build, and it's not working yet. So hopefully we'll be able to check it out really soon and see all the online modes. But in terms of online racing, of course, you've got like the cat and mouse mode, a new mode called Bulldog mode, which sounds kind of fun, where one person is the bulldog and he has to tag every other car on the track, and then they become bulldogs, and the last person on the track is the winner. And
cool.
Kudos count a lot in online racing, and there's this whole nationalistic thing where you pick your country and your flag, and you're sort of racing for your country online and things like that. And there's website support, so there's just an awful lot going on. I really can't wait to tackle the online portion of this game.
So let's talk about one more aspect of the game here that I'm pretty interested in seeing more about. Of course, Project Gotham Racing, the series, this is where Geometry Wars came from.
Yes.
And there's a new Geometry Wars called Geometry Wars Waves in this. Have you seen much of this?
I haven't seen it because I don't know where to.
It's stashed somewhere.
It's stashed somewhere, and I haven't found it yet. But then again, I haven't really looked that hard for it yet. But I do understand that there is a new Geometry Wars, which is very exciting for fans of the series. Who, that was a nice little bonus in the old game. Where
definitely
came upon
and
Geometry Wars. That's awesome.
This weird franchise that is selling copies and all this other stuff.
A game within a game.
Yeah, Ryan, why don't you give me another question?
Let's see, I got a question from Benjamin Newsom in The Couve, and he wants to know about steering wheel support for Project Gotham Racing 4. Wants to know if it's been improved any over the wheel support that PGR 3 had.
I haven't used the steering wheel for PGR 4 yet. I'm assuming it's just going to be just as well as Forza 2, which was really good. I mean, it's a Microsoft product, and it's a Microsoft wheel.
And since the release of PGR 3, they brought out that new racing wheel that's definitely improved from what was available before.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you'll be just fine with the wheel in this game.
Awesome. Well, Brian, thanks for bringing it by. When are we looking to see more on this game? You have a preview in the works?
Doing a preview, I think today.
Today?
Yep.
All right.
Today.
And when's the game out? It's like soon, right?
Beginning of October, I believe.
Wow.
Right
so
around the
they
corner.
just announced today that it went gold, I guess.
Yep.
So they're done. They just have to press them up and sell them.
I can't wait, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks a lot.
All right, no problem.
Now we're going to go over to Ryan Davis, who is standing by with a Wii game called My Sims. Ryan?
That's right. I've got My Sims, the latest Sims game from EA. This time they're bringing it to the Wii, and they've definitely they've softened it up a little bit. They've taken the series in a different direction than you're used to from even the console versions of the Wii game or console versions of the Sims games. This time it definitely feels a little bit like Animal Crossing.
Cool. All right, and these are just more than just Sims. These are your Sims.
These are my Sims.
What does that even mean?
Well, it's kind of like the idea is that you're in this town and people have moved out, and you need to try to get everyone to move back in. And you do that by decorating the houses.
You know why they moved out, right? Bed bugs.
Probably.
Bed bugs.
That seems like a good. Actually, no. It was they give you a full backstory. There was another character who could use essences to build items for people's houses, and you are a new person who can use essences. So everyone's stoked that you're there.
What?
So I am going to be building something for one of the residences here. Let's.
Okay.
Actually, that's.
You're gonna build a ghost?
These are the different essences that you have, and now you get these through a variety of ways. You can dig them up
by busting ghosts.
There's no ghost, but there's ghosts, but there's no ghost busting, as far as I can tell. So I need to get over to an area right here. So I'm going to mark the map, and we're going to truck over there because I need to make something for one of the other characters in the town. But I don't have all the pieces that I need. I need to gather some stone. So essence can come from a lot of places. You can get fruit essences from stuff like these trees. Here's some. I get some red apple essences from this tree, and then.
Do you shake gravestones to get ghost essences?
We shake this one here. Ghost essences come from the ghost. Duh.
Where do you find the ghosts?
There's a ghost that's just kind of walking around town. And then you can get essences from interacting with the other people. And people have different personalities, so that means that they give you different type of essences depending on how you interact with them. So here I'm prospecting for essences. I'm just kind of using this little metal detector. I need to get some stone.
Maybe you'll find a sweet ring on the beach like that dude in the ad.
Oh, if I can. All right, so I'm going to dig here. I need to get stone essences to build a sarcophagus for Sir Vincent Skullfinder.
Did you name Sir Vincent Skullfinder?
No, I did not. That was the name the character had when I jumped in here. So,
awesome.
Let's see if we can get enough. Oh, those are some 8 balls.
All right.
So now it's really a party. Let's dig some more. And it's all the other activities that you do to find and gain essences are pretty simple like this. All right, I've got 11 stones now.
11. You're 11 stone?
I'm 11 stoned, so I can
bro.
go back over here to my workshop. I'll set a flag there so I know how to get there. And we'll stop prospecting and we'll start hoofing it over here.
So let's take our first question from the audience here. I think I know the answer, but John from Florida asks, is this a game for kids? I figure between the 8 balls and the ghosts that no, this is a very adult product.
It's very much for kids.
Okay.
It seems very... They've definitely streamlined a lot of the stuff that you expect from a Sims game. You don't have to worry about like going to the bathroom or eating or sleeping. You can sleep and you can eat, but it doesn't seem to really matter so far. I've only played this for maybe about 3 or 4 hours, but I've gone days and days and days without sleeping. So Sir Vincent says, curses, the movers say they lost my spooky sarcophagus. That was my favorite exhibit, so I will make him a sarcophagus. I already have 20 scary essences, and I now have 10 stone essences. So we'll now go into my workshop, which is where you end up spending a lot of time in My Sims.
Straight up Tetris City right there, man. Look at that. Look at those blocks. It's pretty sweet.
Well, I think that and again, this is not retail version of the game, so those load times are a little bit longer than you might expect. So this is the workshop, and this is where you do a lot of your business. You'll when you want to build an item, you'll be given a view of the item like this, kind of this ghostly shape here, and
more ghosts.
You'll see these pieces down here that correspond to the pieces that you're going to need to build it, and then you just kind of put it together based on what's down there. So you can cycle through these different groups. You kind of want to start at the bottom here. So actually, let's I'll grab this big old piece here. I'll flip it up with the D-pad and plug it in there. Do the same with that, and they kind of snap into place. So it's not like you have to be very careful with how you put the pieces on there.
Okay, so that's another question we're getting from Shay in Houston. Wants to know, are the controls smooth?
So far, yeah, they seem really simple. They definitely they give you a lot of help about what you need to do and how you need to control stuff. So pretty intuitive. Oh, there's the front of the sarcophagus. Sweet. So I need to get the last few pieces here on the top.
Now you just about got the sarcophagus built.
Just about, but this is not the end for the sarcophagus.
No?
No. Let's see, now I want the big pieces here. Because once I actually get it built, I'm going to need to apply those other items that Sir Vincent Skullfinder wants on his sarcophagus, the 20 scary and the 10 stone essences. So once I get those on there, then we'll really have a party, sir.
I want to see this party play out. Let's take more questions here while you're getting the party ready. Let's see. Thomas in Florida wants to know: can you kill your Sims? That was a pretty popular kind of unintended aspect of the original game. You'll build buildings because as you do favors for these, as you build stuff for the people that live in town, the rating of your town goes up, and more people come to town and want to live there, and then you build houses for them. But all the building stuff is very simple. It's just like, here is the space that the building will take up. You plunk that down, and that's it. You're not putting up walls or anything, so you can't really starve them to death, set them to fire, put them into a little box or anything. They've definitely streamlined it so that you can't do that stuff. Got it.
So now, let's see here. I've got the sarcophagus built, but I still need to add these parts. Now, you can add parts in a few different ways. I am going to paint. If we go into paint mode, then you can use these essences. That's ghost, that's tire, that's video game. Sorts of excellent essences here. There's scary essences. All right, so I need 20 scary essences, and so I can just apply these to the different parts. I can just paint that as a scary essence.
So you're going to paint it all scary, and then he'll be stoked, and that's My Sims?
And that's pretty much My Sims, and then he'll give you more blueprints, and you can get, people will ask you for specific types of items, and like they'll say, and you can also cycle through different, there's different patterns for the different types of paints. So yeah, you'll do favors for people. They'll give you blueprints, and then there's different types of blueprints for different types of items. So if someone wants a chair, over time you'll have a variety of different chairs that you can build. You build ornate chairs and fancy chairs and all that kind of jazz.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for showing it off. When is My Sims looking to be released?
I think it's like next week.
Next week. Oh,
I want to say next week.
Well,
yeah.
that's soon.
It's very soon.
Yeah.
We'll have a review for it.
Awesome. Well, that's great. And now we're going to move on with the show and take a look at Kane and Lynch. We've got new action from that, and I can't wait to see it. Let's see.
Just cover your head now! Hold out your fucking tongue! Over here, this way! I see
All right, we are back. That is Kane and Lynch, definitely action-packed. And we're joined by THQ, who's here with some more action. We're joined by Dan, Brian, and Tony. Or Dan, Tony, and Brian, I guess, if we want to go in order, right, guys?
How you doing? How you doing, Jeff?
Doing good, doing good. Now, you guys are here with SmackDown, various versions of it. I see you got a DS down there. But we also have the Wii version here. Now, we saw this back at E3. And I got to participate in some sweet taunts. I got to do some You Can't See Me, some
you
some
did
DX
the crotch chop
chops.
her around the world. We all remember
like a pro.
Well, that's, you know,
scorched into my retina.
I've had a lot of practice in the shower mostly. What can you show us this time? It's definitely looking a little closer to completion. What are you trying to accomplish with SmackDown this year?
Well, a lot has changed since then.
Yeah.
You'll see right off the bat. I'd rather just show you
Sure.
than tell you. We're going to take Ric Flair and Randy Orton this time.
Sweet.
Got a couple new taunts we're going to show you. And pretty much the game's getting much more toward completion. We've mastered, I feel the best that we can how to actually tie the movements of the Wii Remote into the action that the people are actually doing. So people are, for the first time, just getting physically involved with their favorite WWE superstars.
Oh, I don't know. I think a lot of people, you might have dropped the controllers and thrown down a little bit over a SmackDown match.
As you can see, we have Miz in the corner. I'm on the left. There's Lord Danny Poffo in the upper right.
And I'm on the right.
My acquaintance, Tony.
Bitter rival, you mean?
So now how do the, other than being there as an icon, do the Miz figure into the game in a more direct way?
It's a good question. Right here, they're just part of the HUD. As you can see, they wince and frown and look really distraught when they take damage.
Yeah.
Also, we have our single-player mode, which is a big addition. I can't really get too much into that, but it's completely exclusive to the Wii, and they also factor in there a little bit.
Very cool. These are some good-looking player models. Definitely capturing the look of Ric Flair and Randy Orton here.
I let the modelers look at my washboard abs to get that definition correct.
Very nice.
So there you can see there's a taunt by Randy Orton. Do some the Ric Flair
get the little strut there, nice.
It's hard to do here on the couch.
Will the crowd shout "woo" as you do it, or as you chop, things like that? Is there
They actually will, yeah.
Well, the ladies looking in the window when I play will.
Cool.
Now
Now
she did an Irish whip doing the nunchuck. I'm using the nunchuck, just waving that to an Irish whip.
Cool.
Super easy.
Now, of course, a lot of the WWE superstars do have signature moves and taunts. Is that something that every character is going to have something unique to them, a unique controller motion, or are you kind of saving that for the top tier guys?
Oh, we definitely try to do it with as many people as possible. Just get those signature taunts in. Also, everyone has favorite moves, finishing moves. Definitely want to represent the WWE superstars as best we can.
Awesome.
Give them a back chop here. And
now, you recently revealed the roster for the game. Who would you say your favorite superstars in this year's game are?
Oh, I'll start. I'll start with that.
Let me guess.
Well, I'd probably have to be King Booker.
Sure.
He's royalty after all.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I go with King Booker. Tony, what about you? Who's your favorite in the game?
I like Punk.
CM Punk, the ECW champion, of course.
Exactly.
Can't go wrong. The straight edge superstar, in fact. How about
My
you?
favorite is the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, death-defying maniac Sabu.
Definitely.
Making his premiere in SmackDown vs. Raw as an ECW legend.
And
pointing
quite
to the
possibly
sky.
his final SmackDown appearance. He's no longer on the active roster.
I'm not going to comment on that.
It happens. So speaking of ECW, you know, ECW is represented in the game, and you've got some Extreme Rules in the game this year. You understand, or is that on the 360, or where's that at?
That is a match type that's exclusive to the 360, PS3, PS2.
Cool.
I know when WWE reintroduced the ECW late last year, the fans were all, you know, they wanted to know, is ECW going to be in this year's game? And the answer is yes. Full tilt, superstars, brand new match type, ECW Extreme Rules, crowd interaction, flaming tables, flaming barbed wire. We're ratcheting up the violence to a whole
You're
new
finding
level.
everything you can and setting it on fire and putting it in a ring, basically.
It's pretty much massive for the inner sadist in you.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see some more of that. And now, you also have the DS version here. What can you tell us about that while
We
we're
do.
loading up another Wii match here?
We do. Here, let me pass this off to Brian.
Oh,
so he
yeah,
can-
yeah.
He
Cool.
can take part in the.
You say you wanted a piece of this, Brian.
That's what I heard. Now we decided to make a whole different experience for the DS.
Cool.
So it's completely DS centric. You're going to use a stylus for the entire thing. The only time you're ever going to touch a button is if you're pausing the game. But everything else is all representative motions. Everything you do with the stylus. We have a whole entire separate, unique season mode, separate from the Wii, separate from the 360, the core SKU.
So how will that work? Will you, like, you know, tap on a chair and drag it over to someone's face for chair shots?
Let me tell you about a couple of things. Like if you want to punch somebody, it's really simple. You tap on the hand. There's hot spots for you to use. We have all these different situations, all these exciting moments, like all these exciting wrestling moments. Tap on the hand, you'll see an arrow. Drag it over to the face, and your superstar will execute a punch to the face. You want to do an Irish whip? Tap on the hot spot, wind up, slide to the side, and you'll see your superstar toss your opponent over to the side. And no matter what's going on, you always have an option. If you're on the defensive, you're getting all beat up, you've got 3 options, just like the attacker does. So there's never a dull moment. It's always going to be active and kinetic and fast and fun.
Awesome. So we have Ric Flair, Randy Orton up there.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at
You
that.
guys worked that out, distracting? Did you get a shot at? Pretty clever.
He is known as the Legend Killer, no?
That's true, and Ric Flair is most definitely a legend. Also a legend in his own mind, Ryan Davis, who's over there with questions from our audience.
Oh, we love questions.
I've got a ton of questions. I got one here from Matthew Pasquale, London, England, and he wants to know about online, what's going to be playable, where is it going to be playable. He wants to know everything.
You know, we'd love to be able to answer that right now at this point in time, but unfortunately, we have to wait a little longer before we divulge all the online.
You gotta
plans
keep
for
some
this year's game.
secrets.
We gotta keep some secrets. We're showing you a lot today.
Definitely.
I'll just tell him, stay tuned. More information will be coming.
Does he want to see my birth certificate too?
If you've got it, I mean,
Social security
that's
number.
actually his next question too. Is like they want to see your birth certificate. Ryan, skip the birth certificate question and give me another one.
All right. Russ Sherman in Hamden, Connecticut wants to know if any classic superstars are going to be in the game.
Now you do have a Legends roster this year, right?
We do. We always ship with the Legends roster. And of course, we have classic legends in the game. Ravishing Rick Rude.
Awesome. Will he bring a woman into the ring and then do this a bunch? Can I bring the Wii remote above my head and go like this?
Wouldn't you like to know? I know you with the taunts. I know you want to.
Go for it.
I mean, I do that a lot, again, in the shower usually, but
who doesn't, Jack?
it'd be nice to actually do it for a reason. There is right there.
Speaking of the Ravishing one.
On the loading screen there.
Like Dan, I mentioned, Sabu as an ECW legend.
Terry Funk.
Awesome.
Tommy Dreamer
is an ECW legend. Of course, Piper.
Brett the Hitman Hart.
Brett the Hitman Hart.
Execution.
We stock our rosters up every year with the best of the best. So
awesome.
Fans shouldn't be too disappointed.
So what was it like working with the superstars of the WWE? I mean, you guys, work with them every year in and year out. I mean, they seem like they're always pretty excited to be a part of the game. Any interesting stories from motion capture and anything like that?
No, some stuff probably not fit for this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some interesting stories. The WWE, they're great to work with. You mentioned mocap. That's where we interact with them the most. They provide us talent to do a lot of the animations, the finishing moves, especially entrances. We had a lot of voiceover work. Yeah.
Speaking of voiceover work, how are you going to handle the commentary situation? I mean, they have 3 different brands with 3 different announce teams. Do you have all 3 teams in the game, or are you kind of sticking with Ross and Lawler, or how's that going to work?
WYII, of course we have all of them.
Sweet.
Joey Styles is in the house with Taz.
You
for
can't have
ECW.
ECW without Joey
And
Styles.
we have JBL as well with that little girl Michael Cole.
Awesome, guys. So when are you looking to ship these versions to stores? I mean, it looks pretty good right now. Looks like bring it out next week. Just ship it, right?
Yeah,
Tell me something I don't know.
When they will be in stores? November.
That's
second week in November.
November. Awesome.
That's
Looking
right.
Lots to look forward to.
Thanks a lot.
A Wii game, a DS game, completely different from the core SKUs, and then we've also got the 360 PS3.
360.
Lots of stuff to offer. Lots of different ways to play.
And it looks like everything will have something for everyone.
Exactly. I'll
Maybe
tell
you
you
should
what.
just get every version.
If Lil
Maybe
Timmy
people
That's a
or
wonderful,
Bill,
or several copies of every version.
Oh well, yeah, definitely. Because who doesn't have a DS?
They're great gifts,
Exactly.
right?
Everybody's got DS.
Everybody got a DS.
At least skip school that day.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks
Buy
a
all
lot,
3.
guys. We're going to move on now. You've been waiting for it. Roll it back, drop a bomb on it, Funkmaster Flex style, Big Dog Pitbull, Mass Effect World exclusive trailer. Here it is, in your face. Something. Show it. Show the tape.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Saving the galaxy from certain destruction? No. But I've had my share of adventures. So that's it. All this time, and that's all I get from you. How can you not see what this means to the Krogan?
A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. I think it's about time we told the Commander what's really going on.
Since they drove my people into exile, the Geth have never ventured beyond the Veil. Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. It's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point.
I'm interested in this world we're going to, Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful. It's become something of a symbol for your people, hasn't it? Proof that humanity can not only establish colonies across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it really?
And there you have it, Mass Effect. Definitely one of the biggest games probably shipping this year, Ryan.
Absolutely. That's a huge game. I got to say, the THQ guys who are just here for SmackDown, those guys are all crazy.
They're making a wrestling game, they gotta be crazy. Wrestling's insane, it's totally over the top. I wouldn't want it any other way. I want
really
the guys
glad.
working on those games to be just as crazy.
No, I agree with you entirely. I'm totally glad, and it was heartwarming to see that the guys that are making the wrestling game are as ridiculous as wrestling itself.
Yeah,
so that's good.
They didn't come out here with the clipboards and go, well, we found that the POW driver is 12% more this. Like, no, they're making a crazy game with crotch chops and Ric Flair struts and all kinds of weird stuff.
It looks awesome, and yeah, the Mass Effect also looking incredible.
Yeah, definitely. And that's really just kind of a precursor of what's to come for the rest of this year. We've got Tokyo Game Show coming up next week.
It's rolling up on us.
That is rolling up on us, and we are going to have a special broadcast for Tokyo Game Show. We'll be here Thursday as normal, but then on top of that, we are going to do a second show on Friday.
Damn.
Double duty, son.
Damn.
Double duty. And we'll be talking live to the crew that'll be in Japan covering all that stuff.
They'll be crammed into a crazy hotel room the size of a matchbook.
Yeah, basically.
Talk to us through a webcam.
Yeah, I was on the other end of it last year, and it was definitely an experience. What you didn't see off camera was like 20 more people packed into that room working on cutting videos and sending back footage so that we could put it up on the site and have the world's best coverage of Tokyo Game Show.
So we'll have that next week.
We will, and expecting a lot of big stuff to come out of there. Of course, they just announced like Ninja Gaiden 2,
right,
and like Rez HD.
That's awesome.
Rez,
who I never would have thought in a million years that Rez would come out again
that there would be a
Yeah,
sequel or that they'd put out the original on another platform.
I just want to know if the trance vibrator USB peripheral for the PlayStation 2 version will work on the 360.
I've got mine.
I've got mine.
It better.
I'll clean it if I have to.
I always saran wrapped it for use.
That's smart.
Yeah,
very
so
smart.
you don't have to wash it. You don't have to actually
And
get
very
it wet.
disgusting. Very disgusting. You know what?
What?
Jeff. Rewind that. Bring that beat back. Run the Mass Effect trailer again. Let's watch the Mass
Let's
Effect
roll it
trailer
back.
again.
Let's roll it back. That was hot.
We
Let's
gotta
see
see
it
it.
again. Let's see
it's
it
on
again.
fire.
Two
It's
times.
exclusive.
Two times.
Two times. Let's take it.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Saving the galaxy from certain destruction? No. But I've had my share of adventures. So that's it. All this time, and that's all I get from you. How can you not see what this means to the Krogan?
A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. I think it's about time we told the Commander what's really going on.
Since they drove my people into exile, the Geth have never ventured beyond the Veil. Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. It's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point.
I'm interested in this world we're going to, Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful. It's become something of a symbol for your people, hasn't it? Proof that humanity can not only establish colonies across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it really?
Okay, I feel I've calmed down. Just needed to see it a second time.
Need to see that a second time. We second world exclusive.
Yes.
We kept it exclusive.
We're first and second.
We did it both times.
Yeah.
Took first and second place.
Yeah.
We'll run it again after the show just to make sure.
And you'll be able to find it on the site. If it's not there now, it'll be there soon.
That'll be a big fat HD version or something.
Yeah, exactly. Download it, and then you can watch it over and over again if that's your thing.
And it'll be world exclusive for you.
Yeah, it'll be house exclusive for your home.
Or dorm exclusive, or apartment exclusive.
Invite your dormies over.
Yurt exclusive.
Your exclusive dormy screening.
There you go.
Dormies.
Dormies.
Coining that.
Quit saying that.
Dormies.
Brand slam.
All right, I can't talk to you anymore after that. That's you're off the list, son. All right, that's going to about do it for On the Spot this week. Want to thank THQ, want to thank 2K, and of course want to thank Rockstar for bringing by some hot-looking games.
Yeah.
And of course, BioWare's Mass Effect coming to stores pretty soon here, Dark Sector and all that other stuff. Want to thank everyone involved in making this show a possibility every single week. Join us next week. We'll have a double shot of shows Thursday and Friday for Tokyo Game Show. And until then, I'm Jeff Gerstmann. See ya.